What's up, y'all? So, what I'm gonna talk about now, because I'm still driving, this is still all one day, is your VA benefits, which you've all heard, right? It's extremely easy now. So let's say you think you can transfer your stuff to your spouse or your child, right? Go to ebenefits.gov, you sign up, you get your, you gotta get like level 2, which is going into a place, or you verify your credit on there. For me, it was just going to the VA and verifying who I was, and I got level 2 Premier to access. And I think if you ever MyPay login, you can get Premier to access that way too. And that opens up everything, right? So I've used eBenefits. There's some new hot stuff like vets.gov coming out that they've transitioned certain things to vets.gov. So I don't know if they were gonna switch to that. I don't know, but a lot of stuff on eBenefits leads to vets.gov. So if you don't know what eBenefits is a place where you can get your certificate, your certificate eligibility for house. So if you serve, if you were on active duty for so many years, I think it's 6 years or less, or if you were injured, like as long as you serve more than 90 days, various different ways that you can look up if you qualify. And you can just go on there, and your information should be on there because you'll match it up in it. All my information, 1 or 2 things were messed up that I got corrected, but they fixed it. And you can request your certificate eligibility, and you just print it out. Back when I was first in, you couldn't do that. Like, you had to write a letter, and it went to North Carolina, or you printed out the form and sent it to North Carolina, and then they sent you this green ass certificate and stuff like that. Like the first time I bought a house, that's what happened. Now you can do it online, you can print it out. You also can apply for claims. If you're active duty right now, or if you're National Guard or Reserve, there's some people out there, right, that you hear like ripping off the VA, and you hear it in the news all the time now, like they're going hard after people that are faking stuff, and it's just outlandish stuff. Like, to me, it doesn't matter who you are, like, somebody, if you're not the person, who you might have seen some stuff and it's a little bit worse when you're telling a story, you know what I mean? Like, that's just how it is. So you have, in life, that's just the way it is. But these people are straight up, like, the one dude I just saw, he had 2 Purple Hearts and was in Vietnam for like 3. He wasn't even in the service or some stuff like that. Or he got out within the first couple weeks. And that's where I'm like, I don't even understand how that even works. You know what I mean? Like, but especially nowadays, the digital age, I don't know how they get away with that. But anyway, eBenefits, right? You go in there, you can apply for your disabilities. It's pretty straightforward. I'll put the link down below. And again, I'm not going to do all techie stuff, and if my son wants to help me, or if I figure it out, like maybe walk through the whole process. But it's pretty simple. You log in eBenefits, and it tells you, what do you want to do? Do you want to email your provider? Do you want to order a prescription? Do you want to send a message? Do you want to control your claims? You want to put a new claim? What's your current disability rating? All the type of stuff. It's a great tool that was not around years ago, that you can access everything. You can print out all the forms you need. Anything you need, you can find on eBenefits. From, again, every single video, I'm telling you from my point of view and the things I've been through. Anything I've needed has been on eBenefits, right? You can schedule appointments now. You can send secure. For me, it's the greatest thing because of how much traveling. Like, you can secure message your provider. So if you have a doctor's appointment, you have any of that type of stuff, you can go on there and you can message them and they'll reply back to you. So it's not like that confidential, like, it's secure. And that's what it's called, secure messaging, unless they change it within the last week. And then you can reorder your pharmacy. You can see how many refills you have. Most people nowadays know the tech industry. You can log on and find out all your information, and this has all your VA information. If anything's messed up, and they have a new thing. It might not be new, but it's new to me, like the last couple years. It's a blue button, right? And I highly suggest you go to the VA blue button, right? Especially if you're out. Your record, you can download everything that the VA has on your record, and you want to make sure. For me, when I got into it, and the people that were helping me, it was straight up like, go on there. And now when I say people help me, I learned a lot of this stuff by myself. So forgive me for making certain statements like that. You have people helping you through the way, but this is a lot of stuff I do on my own, and I learned it from trial and error. But and hearing other vets talk, so not that they physically helped me, they were like, man, you gotta make sure your record's on point, all this type of stuff, because I didn't even care. Like, I went to the VA, they gave my rating. I didn't have issues like a lot of people had. It was straightforward for me. So with the VA Blue Button, it'll have your entire record that the VA has, and you want to make sure they have your Army stuff or your military record in there as well, right? It'll also take you to request your record, and it's like the National Archive link that you can fill everything out online as long as you know all your information, and they'll pull that stuff out and give you all that information right in a PDF file, man. It's crazy, and you know it's going to be a pain in the butt, takes time, but you can even get like the doctor's notes on your record. But I would highly suggest you go in and make sure all your military stuff's on there, and then if it's not and you have a copy of it, you take it in and have them uploaded in your record. If not, you request from the National Archives for it, right? And I would also highly suggest, if you're out, and you don't necessarily have to be out, but if your VA is your main medical facility that you go to, and you use them, or even if they're not and you're getting compensation, I would request a written record, and I think you can email them that now, for a hard copy of everything, right? Like, so you have that hard copy. Like, I'm old school in the sense of, is the system ever gonna go down? I mean, who knows? I'm not necessarily concerned about that, but I like the physical record. Plus, when you go to increase your claim or even put in a claim, they ask you for supporting documents. So think about it. The claim goes, the process it goes to your regional office, you get your doctor's appointments, right? You can either now go out to your civilian doctor, which to me is the best thing, because then your civilian doctor is gonna, like, I've seen the transition firsthand to going to the VA doctors and looking at you, seeing your record, especially if you were injured, it's in your record, right? Looking at you, like, especially because your age and shit, like, man, you should be healthy as shit. And I'm like, I mean, you see the shit right there. I mean, it's not like I'm faking some shit, and you could be perfectly fine. Like, that could be your best day. Like, you feeling great, and you walk in there and they're like, he's fine. Like, there was nothing wrong with him, right? Like, and that's where I've learned a lot of stuff from the veterans sitting there, like, on how to handle that situation. So now, though, that you can go to your civilian doctor and have them fill out a specific form that they'll even mail it to you. The VA does. If you want to use your own doctor, your own doctor goes in, fills it out, and the VA goes by that. If you're going to use a VA for your, well, I mean, you have to for your claim, no matter what doctor you use, you want a hard record of your actual medical record, because you want to make copies of the things that you're going to submit and upload them. Now, I say this because it goes then to the adjudicator, the person that makes the decision. Now, I might be using the wrong word, but I mean, that's how I'm pretty sure that's correct, right? At your regional office, after you have all your medical stuff, it goes through that process. Now, I'm not gonna get into, I mean, there's dudes I've known got turnaround stuff in a couple months, and other dudes that have been 2 years waiting. So it's not about that. I'm just telling you the process. Once it gets to the adjudicator, they review it, right? They are gonna sit there and make that decision, right? If they have to go, and I'm speaking not firsthand, because I'm speaking on the assumption, and we all know what that means, but it's logical, that they have your full record, right? They have your full record to search. You could have, my first time I requested my record, I had 200 back-to-back pages. So that's 400 pages that this person has to go through to make sure that I qualify. Like, so 400 pages, they could easily skip something. So what they tell you to do, and what I've always done, is print it out. Like, if it was a specific thing, and some of the stuff's obvious, like if you were injured, it's obvious it's going to be in your record. But let's say you're going for, I know that the big thing that was hearing, right? So if you have some hearing loss in your ear, like that could be notated like very, very small, right, in your record, that you're putting a claim in that you have hearing loss, but there's no proof you ever went to the TMC. There's no anything. Nowadays, it's kind of like they know if you were in, you're probably gonna have hearing loss, and it's not that big of a battle. Again, speaking from my experience. So, but if you have it in your record, let's say you mess up your foot one time, and it might only be a couple pages about your foot, but specifically what happened you just don't have it, especially if you don't have your full record from the Army, didn't transfer to military service, didn't transfer to the VA. You need to make sure that you upload that. So then those are the key things that he's looking at. He or she, whoever's the one handling your case, has that. And I'm sorry, like, should we have to do that? I mean, I can understand the complaint, no, but it's childish to me. Like, if you can go through your record, it's for you. Like, it's your health, right? It's your benefit that you deserve, yes. But for you to take the time to go through your record to upload it, I mean, why? I mean, you know, it could take 2 years. Why not? Why not make sure that when that gets in front of that person and makes that decision, you've already submitted it separately, because then they have the stuff that you filed. Okay? So you have that stuff on record already, and you don't want them to miss it. And even if there's a huge section of something, and this was a little bit ago, I still made a copy of it and still submitted it. So this is what the veteran submitted. So he's going to look at that stuff, and he or she, in my mind, is going to look at that stuff specifically. And there is new stuff that they tell you about this stuff.